Why is belly fat so stubborn and hard to lose? What should you do about it? Practical advice is here. Many people have lost a lot of fat, but their abs still haven't shown up. That's because losing belly fat requires extra effort, significantly extra effort. When you gain weight, belly fat is often the first thing you notice, but it's the last to go when you lose weight. This is because the abdomen houses many important organs, and our bodies store energy here to handle emergencies. In other words, the fat here is essential for survival. Therefore, the fat cells in the abdomen, compared to other fat cells, have more alpha receptors for adrenaline, signaling the body to keep this emergency fund intact. This makes it particularly difficult to shed belly fat. The heartbreaking reality is that when you think you've lost a lot of fat, your belly may have only shrunk slightly. Although your body is burning fat overall, the abdominal fat only contributes symbolically to the effort. As you progress from being overweight to being less overweight or even lean, most of the fat loss occurs in other areas, your face, arms, and legs. The threshold for significant belly changes starts when your body fat percentage approaches 15%. Once you cross this threshold, your fat loss will be more evident in your abdomen. Your abs will soon say hello because your body will have no other choice but to use this emergency fund. From around 17% to 11% body fat is when you see the most reduction in belly fat. So, if you're currently on a fat loss journey but are frustrated because your belly hasn't changed much, the key is to remain patient. Besides subcutaneous fat, the abdomen also contains a lot of visceral fat. If you don't have much muscle mass, it's hard to achieve a firm look. That's why some people weigh only 120 pounds but still have a protruding belly. The benefits of strength training are countless, truly endless. Training all your major muscle groups will also work your core. Avoid doing too much cardio. If your shoulders get broader, even if your waist circumference stays the same, your belly will look slimmer. Looking slim is enough. Looking good is a feeling. You might ask yourself, can I build muscle while getting leaner? Of course, you can. More details are in episode 4. For some people, getting a bit leaner isn't enough. They want defined abs, which requires even more effort, with drinking alcohol being the first thing to go. Specific details are in episode 11. If you reached a healthy weight but your abs still haven't appeared, it's time to change your eating habits. Although you've probably been controlling your diet, if you want six-pack abs, there's still a lot you can improve. I recommend tracking your intake and expenditure. The specific method is in episode 15, and recording your waist circumference and weight. This way, you can fully control your fat loss progress. When you stop making progress, you can take timely measures, such as increasing training intensity or volume, or reducing intake. Most importantly, you need to understand that fat loss is not a linear process. You encounter plateaus and slow progress, and that's normal. At this point, you can return to a regular diet for 4-7 days, giving your body a break. It's all about a gentle approach, advancing by retreating. When you finally reach the finish line and see your six-pack, remember that even if you have abs, they might not be visible in poor lighting, or you might still see a layer of fat when bending over or sitting down. So don't be too harsh on yourself. You've already done it. A lot of brothers and sisters have messaged me saying, I've been working out and controlling my diet, and I was losing weight quickly at first, but recently it's stalled. What's going on? Okay, today we're going to dig into what's really happening. Like, share, and follow, and grab a cup because we're going to talk about how much you should really be eating to keep losing fat. This episode is all practical advice, no theory. So take notes. There's only one reason why you're not losing weight anymore. You no longer have a calorie deficit. So, how do you calculate your calorie deficit? A lot of people have told me that the formulas online are all over the place and super complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Just open a browser and search for a basal metabolic rate BMR calculator. Enter your gender, age, height, and weight. Click calculate, and you get your BMR. For example, let's take Zion Newell, a 20-year-old guy who's 1.85 meters tall and weighs 110 kilograms. Zion Newell's BMR would be 2,162. Then, based on his daily activity level, you use the activity factor list below and multiply it by his BMR to get his total daily energy expenditure T. For instance, if Zion Newell does one strength session and one cardio session in a day, multiplying by 1.5 is pretty appropriate, making his total expenditure 3,300 calories. Now, if you still can't figure out your calorie deficit, I really need to get 3 trucks to help you out. As long as Zion Newell eats fewer than 3,300 calories, he'll lose weight. But Zion Newell is very impatient and likes fast results. so he only eats 1,000 calories a day, creating a 2,300 calorie deficit. This goes back to what I said at the start. After losing weight for a while, it stops. Why? Because Zionyo is eating too little, and his BMR drops significantly too. When it drops to 1,000, he no longer has a calorie deficit. Plus, when people diet like this, they bounce back as soon as they start eating normally again. It's unsustainable. So, what's the most reasonable amount to eat to keep making progress? There's a rule. Don't eat less than your BMR unless you're an athlete who needs to compete next week. So, for Zionyo to lose fat at the fastest possible rate, he should eat 2,200 calories. This still gives him an 1,100 calorie deficit. This also applies to the exception group I mentioned in the last episode. If you're particularly tall or heavy, you can lose weight quickly while staying safe and sustainable. Another situation is for those who haven't taken extreme measures. Let's use Zionyo as an example again. After losing 15 kilograms, he hits a normal plateau. Given his new condition, does his BMR still stay at 2,162? Let's recalculate. It's now only 2,000. If he keeps eating the same amount as before, he won't lose weight anymore. At this point, I believe anyone who has gone through basic education should understand, at least in terms of losing weight, there should be no more questions. If you're not losing weight, there's only one reason: you don't have a calorie deficit. And there are only two reasons why you don't have a calorie deficit. First, you're eating too much and breaking even with your total expenditure. Second, you're eating too little and your BMR has plummeted. Okay, you should now know how much you should be eating, but we haven't solved what and how to eat yet. Those who have watched my previous videos should know that you need to get enough protein. Right here, I recommend a golden ratio for those without systematic training experience. 5 parts carbs, 3 parts protein, 2 parts fat. Due to time constraints, that's all for today's video. I'll discuss more efficient ratios in the next one. Like, share, and follow. Do you know your body type? Some people can drink alcohol every day and still lose weight, while others gain weight just by eating a little. Like, share, and follow. And let's talk about what your body type is and how to make the fastest progress. In 1940, an American psychologist proposed that human bodies can be categorized into 3 main somatotypes: ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. Now, some data from Russia has shown that body type analysis can predict which somatotype can achieve above average performance in specific sports. For example, in basketball, mesomorphs tend to perform better because the sport requires speed, jumping, and physical contact. In a 2005 study, untrained participants were put through a 4-month arm training regimen. The researchers found significant differences. The least responsive individuals only increased their muscle mass by 5%, while the most responsive increased theirs by about 55%. In another study, participants overate by 1,000 calories per day, and after 8 weeks, the range of fat gain was from 0.3 kilogram to 4.2 kilogram, fully demonstrating the significant differences caused by different body types. Ectomorph. These individuals are generally slim and tall, often considered ideal for combat sports. They are the lucky ones who can eat whatever they want without gaining abdominal fat, but they also find it hardest to build muscle. Therefore, they need to put in extra effort in strength training. Luckily, they can always turn to food for comfort. Endomorph. This body type is the complete opposite of ectomorphs. Endomorphs have solid builds and easily gain weight, so they need to be extra cautious with their diet to avoid weight gain. They are always either on a diet or about to start one. However, they possess an exceptional ability to gain muscle, making them the most powerful in terms of absolute strength among all body types. Many successful strongmen and powerlifters are endomorphs. Mesomorph. Finally, we have the fortunate mesomorphs, who possess a perfect balance of muscle and fat and the ability to quickly alter their body composition. They find it easier to build muscle than ectomorphs and easier to lose fat than endomorphs. For ectomorphs, if you have this body type, losing weight is not an issue. However, if you want to evolve into a lean physique, you must significantly increase your protein intake, much more than before, because your metabolism is faster than average and you need more nutrients to feed your muscles. Focus on eating plenty of protein and carbohydrates. Your training should involve compound movements like deadlifts, squats, and bench presses to develop overall muscle quickly and easily, while avoiding bodybuilding style isolation exercises. Cardio isn't your concern, you're already so lean. For endomorphs, snacks and sugary drinks are off limits. Natural foods are your best bet. You need to recognize that weight loss is the hardest for your body type, but you don't need to weld yourself to the treadmill. Don't forget that you have the strongest muscle building potential, and muscle can boost your metabolism, making fat loss easier. A low-carb, high-protein diet is your best option. For mesomorphs, congratulations, you have the easiest body type to train. Look at the envy and jealousy on other people's faces. So don't waste the great physique your parents gave you. Even though you won the genetic lottery, you can still make yourself better. Stop slacking off. Whether it's strength training or cardio, with your natural endurance and strength, you should easily handle goal-oriented high-intensity training. Alright, I won't say more. I'm extremely envious. As for your diet, you can be more relaxed because you don't need to overeat or be overly cautious. Just keep your calorie intake around 2,500 and you're good to go. So, which one are you? My dear viewers, please tell me in the comments. If you learned something new today, could you give me a follow? To improve the condition of individuals who are slim but have belly fat, often called skinny fat, here's a step-by-step guide. Plan strength training, systematic training. Focus on structured, higher intensity strength training rather than low intensity workouts. Since your body weight is relatively low, your muscles need a stronger stimulus to grow. Don't worry if your weight increases slightly. Muscle weighs more but takes up less space than fat, so your body will look slimmer as you build muscle. This will also improve your metabolism, which can help reduce belly fat. Track your progress with photos and measurements rather than relying solely on the scale. Track your diet. Just because your weight is normal doesn't mean you can eat anything without consequences. Carefully track your calorie intake because your margin for error is smaller than for someone with a higher body weight. To make this easier, try to eat foods with clear calorie labels. Use a food scale regularly to get accustomed to portion sizes, which will help you stay on track. If you can't precisely measure your food, such as during social events or cafeteria meals, make your best estimate and don't stress over occasional inaccuracies. Avoid perfectionism to prevent burnout. Increase protein intake. Higher protein intake is crucial to support your training. Protein helps build and repair muscles, which is essential when you're aiming to improve body composition. Gradually increase calorie intake. Increase your calorie intake slowly to avoid gaining fat. Systematic strength training will increase your lean body mass, so raising your calorie intake cautiously will help you gain muscle without adding fat. As you progress in your training, your carbohydrate intake should also increase to fuel your workouts. With muscle gain and stable fat levels, your body fat percentage will decrease, leading to the physique you desire. By following these steps, you can effectively transform your body, improving both your appearance and overall health. If you want to achieve a more refined, model-like face, here are the 3 key factors to focus on. Body fat reduction. The first step is understanding that reducing body fat, not just weight, is essential for a slimmer face. For instance, if 2 people with the same weight and body fat percentage aim to lose 20 pounds for a slimmer face, the approach they take matters. Contestant 1 might choose to cut a lot of calories quickly, shedding 20 pounds in a short time. In contrast, contestant 2 takes a more systematic approach, losing weight slowly while eating a protein-rich, clean diet, combined with cardio and resistance training. Although contestant 2 takes a few more months to lose the same amount of weight, they will look better in the end. Why? Because the slow approach allows the body to adapt, maintaining lean muscle mass and giving the face a more defined and healthier appearance. Rapid weight loss without proper nutrition can leave your face looking gaunt and unhealthy. Skincare routine. Healthy, tight, and wrinkle-free skin is crucial for a refined appearance. For men, a simple skincare routine includes cleansing, moisturizing, and applying a bit of oil. The most important part is identifying your skin type. You can do this by trying a bare face test. Thoroughly cleanse your face with a gentle cleanser. Let it air dry for 1-2 hours, and then observe how your skin feels. If it feels tight and flaky, you have dry skin. If it's shiny and oily, you have oily skin. If your T-zone, forehead, nose, and chin is oily but other areas are dry, you have combination skin. Once you know your skin type, choosing the right products will put you ahead of 90% of men. Facial muscle exercises. Your facial muscles provide the framework for your face and skin. Without them, your face loses shape and can appear saggy. A well-defined facial structure, combined with a lean physique and radiant skin, works wonders. Simple facial exercises can be very effective. These exercises include actions like puckering your lips, inflating your cheeks, and pressing against your fingers for resistance training. Doing these exercises at least 3 times a week can keep your facial muscles in good shape, making your face look more structured and, ultimately, more handsome. By following these steps, focused fat reduction, proper skincare, and regular facial muscle exercises, you can make noticeable improvements to your facial